It is 1929. A 25-year-old German intern straps the operating nurse to her own table, then quietly threads a catheter into his beating heart. The August Victoria Hospital sits in Eberswald, 50 kilometers northeast of Berlin. In the summer of 1929, a young surgical intern named Werner Forsman is reading the cardiology literature, and he has a heretical idea. A thin, flexible tube, pushed up an arm vein, ought to reach the right atrium of the heart. Every surgeon in Europe believes this would kill the patient on contact. His chief at Eberswald forbids the experiment absolutely. Forsman, who is 25, decides he is going to do it anyway, and he is going to do it on himself. He needs an accomplice with access to the sterile cupboard. He picks Gerda Ditzen, the operating room nurse, and he flatters her into agreeing. But Ditzen agrees only on one condition. The experiment goes on her, not him. He pretends to accept the condition. He sets up the operating room, he prepares her arm, he straps her down to the table for safety, he drapes her in surgical cloth. Behind the drape, he is not opening her vein, he is opening his own. He cuts his left antecubital vein. He threads a 65-centimeter urinary catheter up his own arm. When the catheter is halfway in, he reaches over, releases Ditzen's straps, and tells her to call the X-ray department. Only then does she see the tube going into him. He asks her to walk with him. And they go together down one flight of stairs, his catheter still advancing inside his chest. He steps behind a fluoroscope. On the screen, in real time, he watches the tip of the catheter slide through the subclavian vein into the superior vena cava and come to rest inside the right atrium of his own beating heart. He asks the radiology nurse to take a still photograph. The plate develops cleanly. The catheter is unmistakably inside his heart. He publishes the X-ray in Klinische Wochenschrift in November of 1929. His chief at Eberswald, initially furious, comes around when the photograph is on the desk and lets him repeat the procedure on a dying patient. He is invited to the Charité in Berlin to work under Ferdinand Sauerbruch, the most famous surgeon in Germany. Sauerbruch reads the paper and fires him almost at once. "You cannot begin surgery in that manner," he says. By 1933, Forsman has given up cardiology entirely. He spends the next 23 years as a country urologist, eventually settling in the spa town of Bad Kreuznach. In 1956, the Nobel Committee in Stockholm awards the prize in physiology or medicine jointly to two doctors in New York, André Cournand and Dickinson Richards, who had read his 1929 paper and turned it into the modern field of cardiac diagnosis, and to Werner Forsman, who learned about the prize from a newspaper and who by then had not touched a human heart in 23 years. He had threaded a catheter into his own beating heart. The hospital fired him for it. The Nobel Committee called it medicine.